G'day all, welcome back to Coverlee's Workbench. Currently working on the Destroid Defender kit. So far I have got the major assemblies assembled. As you can see, I've got the one arm and one leg on the Defender. Now I've just glued the other leg, and as you can see, all the grey silver stuff there is putty so far that I had to apply and sand off. So there are some nasty seams and steps in this kit putting it together. This leg, well, you can see this leg here, it's a lot worse, requiring quite a bit of work. Now, due to the way the seams are, there's a lot of finer detail that just basically gets obliterated. Right, for example, I'll just get something here. In here, there's supposed to be some ribbing to indicate material or rubber or some sort that crunches together to give the leg some movement if this was an actual articulated item. That's been basically raised away because of the sanding I've had to do. I've tried to rescribe it back, but I've not been too successful with it. It's very narrow lines I've got to do across there, so I've kind of left it as is. There's a nice bad seam here that is very hard to erase. I've tried to do it with sandpaper and files and putty to smooth it out, but she is fairly bad, so don't know what to do with that one yet. Another bad seam back here. I filled in the two holes in the feet, so that's one leg almost completely done. The other leg's on its way. As I said, I just glued this part together, so I'd let that sit for 24 hours at least, a couple of hours anyhow, before I putty it up. I won't say 24 because I'm in a bit of a hurry here. I've got one arm glued onto the kit itself, or the body itself, sorry. The other one's still being worked on. I've had to use super glue instead of normal glue to join this pivot together. When you dry fit it without the gun being rested in there, it fits quite snugly. But as soon as you put the gun in there, there's something that forces a gap in this bottom part. So I've had to super glue that together. It's a bit flimsy as well, I believe, so I've super glued through the entire passage there just to try to give it some strength on the other side as well. The torso's together, the waist is all together now. There's a slight alignment problem with the waist. One side is angled up. I've been trying to correct it, but I can't. It's the way the kit is moulded, I think. More anything to do with what I've done. And this part here is movable because it's not really glued in. It's just got a rubber plug there just to create movement. So that's where I'm at present. Not much more to report on that. This kit really is bad. Just the joins, the steps in the parts. Some of the parts, like for example this part of the leg here, if you're not careful when you clamp it, and I've had to clamp it to glue it together, it can do a sideways movement, so you can automatically cause a step to be created. So you got to go back and correct it at the same time too. That creates a step on the opposite side. So it's the better of two evils. Which way do you go, with or without, with a huge step or with several minor steps? So it's very poor kit. There's a few mistakes I've made in there, and I'm going to hide them later on. I'm thinking now of bashing this up a bit, make it look like it's been through a bit of conflict, so I'll be gouging some, or cutting some damage into it, and gouging it and burning a few things, and at the same time too, I'm going to hide a few mistakes I've made, because I have been using metal files to sand, and I've accidentally gouged some corners in some places. I'm just going to cover them up with battle damage more than try and correct it. Overall, it's going along. Basically, these are the only parts left that I've got left to do. So another 48 hours before I sand these off and glue them on. They're the heels for the feet, and those two rings there are to put the guns onto the shoulder. That leg's complete, the body and torso and arms complete. So these two, I've got to sand down this gun here. As you can see, inside the gun itself, the holes are varying diameters, so I've got a circular file which I'll stick down there later on and sand it, gouge it out a bit with the file. Got some sanding to do here. As you can see, more alignment problems with all the putty there. And just this leg to go, and this kit will be ready for some priming and then some painting. And I've just checked my paint area downstairs where I paint. I do have some of this colour left that I used on this kit, so I've got a few other things I got to fix up with this kit anyhow, but that paint that I've got left should be enough to do this little guy. So I'll see you shortly.